have ever felt like you're a prisoner of your own brain? Like maybe like you know everything you need to do, you know how to do it, you know when to do it, but for some reason you just can't pull the trigger. Or maybe there's some days where you just can't get up the emotional oomph to go and take the world by the throat like you know you should be. Like you're not hitting it on all thrusters like you need to. If that sounds like any of you, go ahead and type that's for me in the chat. How many of you, by a show of hands in the chat, or those of you out in Zoom land, have ever just woke up and felt completely crushed, overwhelmed, like there's just no point? Anybody? All right. So yeah, so anyway, let me see. So we got some weirdos in here. Anyway, so today is about state. You know, when I talk to people about how to reprogram your subconscious mind, I spend a lot of time talking about things like your values and your beliefs and your memories. Okay? But one of the things that we really need to talk about is this thing I like to call the mind-body feedback loop. And the reason that I say that is because your body and your mind are irreversibly intertwined. And so when I teach my influence classes, one of the things that I have to stress to people over and over and over again is that your physiology controls your psychology, right? What you do with your body impacts what you do with your mind more than anything else. So if you stay with me until the end of the training tonight, I am going to show you in very simple ways how to tap into any state you want, anytime you want. Right? I'm going to show you how to begin to tap into your own values and belief systems so that you can get inspired and on fire to do the things you know you need and want to do. I'm also going to show you how to break any negative state you're in a few seconds so you can get back to the game of life as we know it. So just let's make sure everybody's in. Now, of course, if this is the scope of everything there is to talk about, right, in the 2 hours or 90 minutes or however long we go today, right? If this is the scope of everything that there is to learn about how to reprogram your subconscious mind and how to take control of your mind and master it, really, because that's really one of the things that is kind of a, no pun intended, a mind fuck, right? Is when you get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into what we're teaching you, you'll realize something very profound but very weird at the same time. And that is, you are more than your mind. You are more than your body. The mind and the body are tools that your spirit and your soul uses. Now, whether you believe in anything beyond the meat suit or not, doesn't matter. Your brain responds to this same kind of training as if it's literally true, and it will make it true for you. And that's useful. Right? As a neurolinguistic programmer, as a hypnotist, we move through the world looking through a very different lens. We look through the world through the eyes of, is this useful or isn't it? Is this moving me towards the life I want and the outcomes I want, or isn't it? So my question is, how many of you, by show of hands in here, feel that their life is 100% going in the direction that they want? If that's true, this is probably not the webinar for you. I'm going to get a little bit provocative here. But if there are areas of your life where you just feel you're not going in the direction you want, then go ahead and type that in the chat. Okay. Life is great, but I'm looking to make it better. Perfect. I like that attitude, right? So let me give you a little. Well, again, today's about state. So in some of the emails that we sent out, we said we were going to teach you how to become victorious and playful and curious and relentless on demand, and we're going to show you the mechanism for doing that. But there's and there's different ways that we can get there. Okay, your body and your body-mind continuum is really an amazing apparatus. But most of us think about it like it's who we are. And it really isn't. It's a vehicle. It's a tool that you've been given to make your way in this world. And so one of the things that I want you to understand, Jorgen says, somewhere along the way I became bitter. Very easy to do that. It's very easy to become bitter when you don't understand the rules of the game, because the rules you were taught when you were growing up don't match the experiences that you're having, or other people don't play by those same rules. In fact, that's one of the things that a lot of us are dealing with many times throughout each day of our lives, is that the rules that we grew up with, the rules of fair play and all of those things, we do our best to apply them. And then we see other people kind of bending those rules, breaking them, not even following them, and then getting further along in their life than we seem to be. And we get very angry, we get bitter, and we play by the rules harder, but we also at the same time get resentful towards those people who are not playing by our rules. And that, my friend, is the problem. They're our rules. And that's one of the things I did a big workshop. I did 2 weekends ago, I think it was. Yeah, 2 weekends ago, I was teaching my Mastermind. And a bunch of my students showed up, and they all had the same basic question, is they wanted to move forward in their life, but they didn't have a lot of clarity. They were having trouble building wealth. They were having trouble getting their businesses started. They were having trouble finding the right relationships, or really just a set of purpose. And so I spent pretty much the entire first half of the training teaching them something really important, and it's called the Life Values Inventory. The Life Values Inventory is a set of questions that you ask yourself, and it sets up a specific context. And that context is, if you are going to go through your entire life as a solo act, in other words, there was no significant other, or at least not on a permanent basis. It was just going to be you moving through the video game of life. And you might have friends and colleagues and circles of friends and stuff like that, but those are transient, right? If you were going to be moving through the movie of your life as a solo act, what would absolutely have to be there for you to have the best life ever, without a partner, without any other support system necessarily other than you, right? What would absolutely have to be there? How would you build that life? Okay. Now, it's a rhetorical question, Sheila, but money is something that we all want to a certain degree. Now, the reason I bring this up is we're not going to do the life values inventory here, but if you guys stick with me to the end of the webinar, I will show you how to get access to a recording of that training, and you can walk through it with my students and stuff like that. But one of the reasons that I bring this up is because the results that we produce in our life are governed by a set of rules. Now, those rules, part of them are conscious and part of them aren't. Okay, we call these things values. Values. Now, values at their deepest level are just beliefs. They're beliefs about the way the world is supposed to be. And with each of those beliefs about the way the world is supposed to be, there is a set of rules. A set of rules that tell our system when we're getting it. I used to make a joke back in the days when I was teaching couples how to be better romantic and sexual partners. I had a primarily male audience at that time, but I had a lot of females get tremendous benefit on both sides, both from learning of it and from receiving it. But one of the things that I told my students then, and I'm going to tell you this now because it's still true, every human being on the planet is moving through the world checking off boxes on internal lists in their mind and in their heart. Okay? Now, sometimes they know they're checking boxes and sometimes they don't, which brings us to one of the fundamental problems with working with manifestation, reprogramming your subconscious mind, getting over limiting beliefs, removing blocks to your success, eliminating self-sabotage. Any of this sound familiar? Dissolving fears and traumas from your life. Right? Anybody have any of these? Yeah, of course, right? Who doesn't, right? Exactly. But here's the secret. All of those things, your memories, your traumas, your fantasies, your daydreams, your beliefs, your values, anything that you can think of all of them are built the same way, from the same stuff, using the exact same system. And once you understand how that system works, the dynamics of that system, then you can program yourself for any change you want. Now, programming is one level. Programming is one level. Once you've programmed a change, now you must rehearse the change. You must change things outside of your mind and body so it supports the new version of yourself that you're seeking to create. Okay, so one of my more colorful and provocative mentors way back in the day used to instruct us, after going through intense change work and working with our clients and having them go through intense change work, he would tell us to go home and burn all our furniture. Well, I'm not suggesting you go home and burn all your furniture, but the point is that the objects and the people in your environment function like anchors to your identity. So, how many people here know what a boat is? Just by a show of hands, how many of you know what a boat is? All right? You ever seen a boat tied up to a dock? Yes? Now, what do you think happens when the person driving the boat tries to pull away from the dock but doesn't untie the ropes? It's not going to end well for somebody, right? That is exactly how the people and the environments and the objects in your environment work. So today's class is going to focus on states, how to get into states of playfulness and curiousness and relentlessness and all those things. But I need you to understand that the state, while it's really one of the most important pieces, is part of a much larger whole. There's other factors involved that we need to take control of, right? Now, there's a whole system in place that I've developed over the years for doing all of these crazy and amazing things, right? Most of you are not first timers. How many first timers do we have? Just so I know, how many first timers do we have in the chat? Just type me and where you're checking in from if this is your first time. So Matthew, first time, Raleigh, North Carolina. Welcome, Matthew. Neva, good to see you. Jonathan from Kentucky. Yay! And Neva Kevin from Germany. Aldo, Mexico. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Excellent. Okay, so we've pretty much gathered that we're all in the same place. Now, before I go any further, let me give you my standard disclaimer. If politically incorrect language, colorful metaphors, swearing, or the word boobies offends you, this is probably not the best use of your next couple hours. Okay? My job here is never to offend you, but my particular style of transformation is provocative. And it's provocative for a very specific reason. A, it's fun for me, but also because you have two sets of everything. What do I mean by that? You have beliefs that you know about. You have values that you know about. You have all kinds of rules that you know about. But you also have beliefs and values and rules that govern your life that you do not consciously know about. And that's why and the only time you can find those beliefs is if you provoke them in some way. Okay? Now, why am I saying that? Now, what I'm about to say you will completely ignore as any form of a suggestion, but it is something some of you will experience as we go through our processes together today. And that is this. When I start having you bring up positive memories and positive feelings and assuming positive physiologies and all those things, those states are going to engage, and they're going to engage powerfully. What may also happen is as you're tapping into those positive energies, those positive memories and feelings and beliefs and experiences, it may trigger negative feelings. It may trigger negative associations and negative pictures. But they won't be in the front. They'll be kind of off to the side or in the background or kind of like way off in the distance in the back of your mind. Now, why am I telling you that up front? So you understand that I know what's going to happen, because I've done this with tens of thousands of people and we're all built the same way. There are some energies and some states that are very clean and very pure, and you just go into them full bore. There's other states that you try to access that are connected to other things. But you don't know they're connected to other things until you try to access the positive memory, which instantaneously provokes the negative ones. Now, why is that? That sounds like a bad thing. It's actually not. The reason it's not is because once they're provoked, you now know they're there. You now know where they are, and now you can fix them. Repeat that. Once you know where they are, you can fix them. Okay? I'm going to teach you the dynamics of the human nervous system as it relates to subjective human experience. In other words, behavior and memory and predicting the future and self-programming. Everything human beings do, to some degree, is a subjective experience. And the more you understand how your nervous system does that, the more easily and rapidly you can make any change you want for any reason that you want. I've dedicated my life to figuring this stuff out and then helping other people gain control of their own life and bodies. But I started with me, right? Because one of the problems with the self-help world is that there's so many people selling you repackaged affirmations and snake oil and things of that nature. And I just got tired of it. I wanted stuff that worked, and I wanted it to work for me. So nothing I'm sharing with you is theoretical. Everything that I'm going to share with you has been proven first on myself and thousands of clients and client hours. And as long as you're a human being with an operating pulse and a nervous system, it will work for you. The only variable is time, intensity, and duration. And those are all variables you have control over. Okay? I see a lot of if you got questions, I love questions, by the way, put them in the chat. If I have time to answer the question, and it won't take us too far off field, I'm happy to answer the questions where they're relevant to what we're talking about in the training tonight. However, if you do have other questions that you want me to answer, I will answer your questions. Here's 2 ways that you can get those questions answered outside of me telling you in the webinar. A, if we have veterans, type your questions in the chat no matter what. If we have veterans in the chat who've been in Planet David for any number of months and have experience using our techniques to transform that particular aspect in their lives, I invite my veterans to reach out and answer, without distracting people, answer those questions. Now, if that's not good enough, because a lot of people don't want to hear from other people, they want to hear from the guy teaching the class, and I get that. If you do want an answer from me, then here's how this works. Keep typing your question in the chat, and if I see where it's relevant to where we're at, I'll answer it. If not, then at the end of this webinar, YouTube is automatically going to begin processing the replay. If you go to the replay of this webinar and you type your question in the chat, I promise you, over the next 2 weeks, I will read your questions and I will do my best to answer them. If I know the answer, I will tell you. I'll promise you, if I know the answer, I will tell you. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you that too, right? And I will always try to suggest where else you can go or where else you can look to get the help that you need. My firm belief is that everything works for somebody, nothing works for everybody. While in my heart of hearts, I really do believe that this material is probably the most cutting edge transformation work on the planet, it may not mesh with how you see the world and yourself in it. And if it doesn't, then I say, take what notes are useful. As Bruce Lee would say, absorb what is useful, discard that which is useless, discover that which is uniquely your own and add it, right? So let's talk about why this provocation needs to happen. A, polarity in any direction is a sign of an emotional charge buried in the nervous system. There's a lot of talk nowadays about this, a phrase people throw around called nervous system regulation. Nervous system regulation. Well, what does that really mean? It means that somewhere in your neurology is a part of your nervous system that's holding on to an emotional charge. Think of it like a little zip file or a little, like a video short that's on autoplay. You know, when you go to your Facebook or you go to Instagram and they keep playing that same loop over and over and over and over again until you click on it or click away? That's kind of what's happening in your nervous system. Okay? And what happens as you move through the world, your unconscious mind starts to collect things based on what they have in common, and it groups them together. And depending on how you deal with those recordings that your nervous system is making, will determine how much of an emotional charge each of those clusters and files has for you. Okay? Our way of regulating the nervous system is by understanding how those things were created in the first place, and then going in and at the programming level of the autonomic nervous system, giving it different instructions, giving it different commands. Which brings us back to state control. Most people believe that the mind controls the body. And it's true, theoretically, it's true enough to be true. Okay? I'm going to make a very big distinction between theory, practicality, and functionality. For most people, that is not true beyond a certain small range. What do I mean by that? In most untrained humans, Joe average, Josephine average, the inverse is actually the case. The physiology, the meat, is controlling the psychology. You ever try to be positive when your blood sugar's low? You ever try to be super positive when you're got the flu? Or when you're on your cycle, right? Without a lot of sleep, how are you the epitome of joyfulness and cheerfulness? Those require answers. Type them in the chat. Right. So this is the first thing that we need to understand. Unless you are trained, what do I mean by trained? Elite athlete, extreme athletes, special forces soldiers, high-level yogi, Buddhist monk, Shaolin monk, many first responders, okay? Unless you fall into one of these categories or categories like this, where you must learn to tap into your cognitive and psychological and psycho-emotional resources on demand in high-stress situations. And even that, the way a lot of those people are trained, has severe ramifications to the physical body. But they are largely in control of their state most of the time. The inverse is true. What you do with your body, how you treat your body, will dramatically impact what you can do with your mind. Let me say that 2 more times. What you do with your body and how you treat your body will dramatically impact what you can do with your mind. So when you come to classes like Killer Influence or Identity by Design, one of the things that we're going to be teaching you about is that you must learn to control the physiology first with the least amount of willpower involved so that you can access your cognitive resources. So we're going to play a little game. Is that okay? Can we play a game? Type yes in the chat if you want to play a game. All right. So this is a fun one. I do this with my students all the time, and it's a discovery tool for you. It's a way for you to realize the truth of what I'm saying as it relates to you. Okay? Now, everything works for somebody, nothing works for everybody. You may have slightly different experiences with this, and that's okay. Right? Repetition is the mother of learning. So, I want you to, now you can't do this if you're driving, okay? If you're driving, operating heavy equipment, machinery, anything that requires your full and undivided attention, don't do this exercise yet, okay? Wait until you're actually in a safe space. And hold on a second, I'm getting some people saying my audio is not quite right, and I want to make sure that my it's on, should be on auto. I don't know that that's my echo there, Neva. Is it Neva? Or minus clear? Okay. That might be on your end. You might want to try rebooting. Okay, Moss says my audio is good. Okay. All right. So what was I talking about before I got distracted? That happens a lot, which is why I oftentimes, I don't, against my better judgment, I leave the chats open because I want to see your questions. But really, if I want to stay focused on the webinar, I should just shut all the chats off. Okay, everybody in YouTube land is saying good, 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 good. Excellent. All right. Type yes if you want to play a game. There we go. Okay. So once again, this does involve altering your state. It's not going to be altering your state like me swinging a watch at you or anything like that. And in fact, that's one of the more limiting beliefs about the field of hypnosis is that it requires somebody to swing a watch, or you need to be completely relaxed. Human beings, by their very nature, by the very design that God built into us, are trance machines. We shift states and consciousness so functionally, so fully and fluidly, we never realize we're doing it so often. In fact, we don't often realize we've shifted consciousness until we come out of the previous state, right? And that's why when we hypnotize people, especially for the first time, the 99% of the people who go into hypnosis don't believe they're hypnotized until after they come out. And then they're not even sure because they experience trance differently because it doesn't match their expectations, right? Now, for me, hypnosis was kind of my gateway drug. And what I mean by that is I got into hypnosis very early on because it was the fastest, most linear, most direct way to make the changes I wanted to make. And I found it to be the most important life skill I ever learned. And if you learn nothing else in your life about how to improve your life, master the skills of hypnosis and the laws of mental dynamics, and the world will open up to you. I truly believe that. I can honestly say that to this day, nothing cooks the rice, gets the job done faster than hypnosis one of its many forms. Even classical hypnosis, which I've very much evolved far from the classical approaches. Even classical hypnosis has a much higher success rate than most other forms of transformation that we have. What's interesting is some of the oldest forms of transformation that come from hypnosis are being replicated using technology, right? To redo the same thing, like regression therapy, right? Which is something that's been around NLP, the hypnosis world, for many, many years. They use that with virtual reality now to help people relive the incidents that caused them trauma in the first place so they can make better choices and re-script the experience, right? Well, it's just a virtual recreation of a hypnotic phenomenon that's been going on for centuries, right? Now, I'm not belittling it by any stretch of the imagination, but it's important to understand that it's all the same nervous system, it's all the same brain, it's all the same mind, it's all the same body, right? Yes, we're all different, but not that much, right? We're far more alike, all of us, regardless of what part of the world we come from or whatever, than we are different. And the sooner we realize that and start reaching out and working together and supporting each other instead of trying to beat each other up all the time or belittling people for, not quite believing the exact same thing we do, we'll be better off. But people have been saying that for years, and that's not going to cook the rice. This is going to cook the rice. I want you to stand up, feet flat on the floor. Okay? I want you to just be in a nice, relaxed pose. Okay? I want you to close your eyes. Now, I'm going to talk you through this exercise. I don't want you opening your eyes, typing your responses in the chat. I don't want you to break the flow of this drill in any way until I tell you it's over. Okay? And then I'll ask you for feedback. And one of the reasons that I'm doing this is because if you want to learn how to control your state and lock into states like pleasure, curiosity, playfulness, relentlessness, victory, you must understand this phenomena that we're about to explore together. Okay? So I want you to go ahead and close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and just relax. Let that breath out with a sigh. Deeper and deeper with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. You can just relax and let go. Now, in a moment, not yet, but in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to do something for me. I'm going to ask you to focus all of your attention on the lids of your eyes, and specifically on the tiny muscles in your eyelids. And I want you to just relax those tiny muscles in your eyelids. I want you to keep relaxing them. Relax them more and more and more until they're so relaxed they just don't want to work anymore. When you're satisfied, you're convinced they're so relaxed they just don't want to work anymore, all I want you to do is give them a little test, just to be sure. When you're satisfied, stop testing them and let that level of relaxation flow from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. Deeper and deeper with every breath you take, every beat of your heart. Just let go. Excellent. Now, in a moment, Not yet, but in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to use that amazing memory and imagination of yours that I know that you have. I'm going to ask you to do something for me. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to fly back on the wings of time to a time and a place where you saw something that you really, really wanted. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, it had a lust factor of 27. And you made a decision in that moment. You made a decision that you were going to get it no matter what. And you put that plan into operation. You worked that plan. If an obstacle got in your way, you went over, around, through, underneath, you pushed it aside, you burst through it like the Kool-Aid man. Whatever you needed to do to get that goal, you did it. And I want you to remember that moment of victory. That moment when you realized, winner, you nailed it, home run, grand slam, first prize, top dog, apex, whatever. I want you to remember that moment of exultation and victory and triumph. And even more importantly, I want you to see what you were seeing in that moment. I want you to hear what you were hearing in that moment. I want you to smell and taste what you were smelling and what you were tasting in that moment. And as you do that, as you see what you see and you hear what you hear and you smell and you taste what you smell and you taste, there's amazing, victorious, triumphant feeling that you get. Now, before we go any further, if you've never had that experience, can you imagine what an amazing, wonderful, transformational, liberating, empowering experience that might be like? What might it be like? What might you see? What might you hear? What might you smell? What might you taste? Because when you do that, when you're in that place, and you see what you see, and you hear what you hear, and you smell and you taste what you smell and you taste, there's an amazing, wonderful, empowered feeling that you get, a feeling that lets you know you can do anything. There's a place in your body where those amazing new feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, notice where you feel it, and point to it. Notice there's a color connected to it. What's the color? First impression. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to breathe those colors through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air or helium fills up a balloon. Anchor it in so fully, so completely. No force in the universe can turn it off or take it away, not even you. And then what I want you to do is I want you to imagine another ball of that energy floating above your head. And I want you to breathe it through your body again. But as you breathe it through your body again, I want you to feel your body's posture and your body's breathing begin to shift and change. Stand the way you were standing in that moment of victory. Breathe the way you were breathing in that moment of victory. Feel your body, feel your posture, feel your breathing shift and change until you're in full-blown winner mode. When you've got that, and only when you've got it, here's what I want you to do next. Without changing a single thing about the way you're standing, without changing a single thing about the way you're breathing, summon up your will, and once again, without changing a single thing about the way you're standing or breathing, as an act of will, try to feel bad and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, stop testing, let go of that attempt to feel bad, and let that beautiful colored energy wash through you again, twice as strong as the time before. When you feel grounded back in your bodies and ready to move on, just open your eyes, type in the chat what you experienced. Talk to me. What did you experience? Nicholas says, awesome. Thank you. What do I recommend with students with aphantasia? When you're working with students with aphantasia, Matthew, use sounds, smells, or tastes or feelings. Usually people with aphantasia, it's primarily, usually, there's variation, everything, usually limited to visuals. So you can transfer those into smells or tastes or whatever. Now, here's the secret. When I watch people with aphantasia describe things and talk about things, you'll often notice that when we talk, we use our hands, right? Even people who are aphantasic, when they describe experiences or tell stories, they use their hands and they motion to different things in their proprioceptive field. What that tells me is that whether they're consciously seeing it or not, their neurology has constructed an unconscious image where the location of that information is. So what you can also do is pretend that you know. You don't have to see it. You can just play pretend, right? In whatever way that works for you. Okay. But I've never seen people go wrong turning it into a sound, a smell, a taste, or a feeling. You have 4 other very functional modalities that will transcode any set of neurological data into any other format that you want. And that's really what's happening when we're dealing with a lot of the trauma messages and the trauma recordings that the body's carrying around. What you've got is basically a corrupted file. You've got a file or like a video that has some kind of glitch in the recording or in the system that keeps it on autoplay and doesn't let it get stored wherever it needs to be stored and processed out as overdone and complete. So what we do many times when we are transforming traumas or transforming limiting beliefs or things of that nature, we look at the format that memory is encoded in. I'm using video metaphors because it's something we're all fairly familiar with. I'm taking video that's formatted in a certain way, and I'm running it through a process that reformats it into something else. Okay? Many times it's the same information, but as it's getting reformatted and recoded, the error in the code gets changed in such a way that the rest of the system can process it. Now, you don't need to, I'm using metaphors to explain rather intricate neurophysics processes, but it's largely functional how we do this, right? Everything human beings do is in response to a feeling. It's either a feeling they want more of or a feeling they want a whole lot less of. And that's the beauty of it. Because if we can point to where we feel it, we now know where the information is stored, and we now have access to that file. And once we have access, think about taking a USB drive with an antivirus and plugging it in to the drive that has the virus on it, right? And it's just going to go to town. That when I say point to where you feel it, that's literally what you're doing with your system, right? And once you understand how the system works, you can reprogram just about anything. Okay. And I don't say that lightly. I know somebody somewhere is going to ding me for making outrageous claims. I'm happy to test this. Best score out of 100 people. I'll happy to put my stuff next to anybody's and see just what the average rate of change and transformation is. Right. Feel like I'm kind of like the Gracies, right? Any and all comers, but like I said, nothing works for everybody, right? But everything works for somebody. I like what we do because I see you guys taking the same stuff for all free videos and going out and changing your whole lives. And that's, to me, means I'm doing what God sent me here to do. Be that as it may. So a couple of questions before we go on to the next piece. Enbird watching says it was difficult to feel bad. Perfect. How many of you noticed, as long as you kept your posture, you couldn't feel bad? Anybody? Type that in the chat. Isabel says yes. Correct. Anybody else? Kevin says yes. Exactly. Yes, 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 yes. That's exactly right. And this is why most of the training we get in the self-help world, Sheila says, couldn't feel bad at all. Why most of the training we get in other approaches to transformation is backwards. It's not that it doesn't work. There's different configurations that make things work better. Right? Now, the problem with a lot of transformation work that we're taught in other systems is they need you to be able to access your cognition. They need you to be able to think. They need you to be able to imagine and visualize and process instructions. Anybody here ever have panic attack? Anybody? Hey guys, here's a question for you. You ever get kicked in the groin? Or accidentally get one between the goalposts? Ladies, have you ever had a similar experience? Or an analog? In those moments of pain and getting the wind knocked out of you and the environment erupting in chaos, can you think? Can you do? No, you can't. Why? Because your physiology is in chaos. And this is why functionally we tell you your physiology controls your psychology. If your physiology is out of equilibrium, if the level of arousal and stimulation to that nervous system is beyond a certain range, your conscious mind, which is your ability to think and use your imagination and willpower, checks out. It goes to freaking Maui, and you default to whatever the animal part of you knows how to do. You drop to your training. Okay? So, yes, all of these really cool techniques that you learn to use your mind for, they work great. Assuming you can think. Assuming you can imagine. But the more aroused, positively or negatively, your nervous system gets, the harder and harder and harder it is to think. So physiology training must come first. Now, I spend a huge amount of time teaching all of my hypnosis students, all of my NLP students, all of my influence students how to master their mind and emotions through their physiology first, and then how to build on that platform to be able to influence people anytime, anywhere, under any situation or circumstance, regardless of what's going on. Because regardless of what's going on around you, you're controlling your physiology takes the least amount of effort. Okay. And as long as you can control your physiology, you can break any state. So we're going to do one more drill, and then I'm going to talk to you about some of the ways that you can leverage this and talk about some of the systems I've got planned. I'm going to take you as far as I can in the time I have, and I'll point you in the direction of where to go to level up. Is that a fair trade? Have you guys gotten anything useful out of the training so far? Okay, good. Okay. So if you just watch the replay and you do this drill, it's going to prime you to be very positive. I want to do the other side of this drill really, really quickly. It's not quite the same I'm not going to spend as much time on it because there's other things I want to get to. So I want you to close your eyes again, but this time I want you to think of a time in your life when you were disappointed, where somebody did or said something that just shot your mood. Okay? Make sure your eyes are closed. I don't want you looking at me when you do this, right? I want you to remember how you were feeling in that moment. What were you seeing? What were you hearing? What were you smelling? What were you tasting? Most importantly, how were you standing if you were standing in that moment? How were you breathing if you were breathing in that moment? Go ahead and stand that way. Go ahead and breathe that way. We're not going to stay here long, but it's important to understand the other side of this, to really appreciate why your physiology has to come first and why it's powerful. So once you've got those feelings, here's what I want you to do. Without changing a single thing about the way you're standing, without changing a single thing about the way you're breathing, as an act of will, summon up your willpower, just like before. Keep your posture the same, keep your breathing the same, summon up your willpower, and try to feel good. And notice what happens instead or doesn't happen. Now, I know it's yucky, but it's necessary. Okay? Once you understand what's happening, here's what I want you to do. Let go of the willpower that was trying to make you feel good, and instead, hold on to the negative feeling intentionally with your will, and physically shift your body back to the winning posture. Shift your posture back to the winning breathing. And just hold that winning posture. Hold that winning breath pattern. And notice what happens. And then just when you realize what's happened, go ahead and let go of your attempt to try and feel bad through your willpower, and let all the good feelings come flooding back in twice as strong as a moment ago. Right? Back when we did that first exercise. Feel that posture and that physiology lock in. And then when you're back more grounded in your body, allow your eyes to open. Notice how good you feel. Type what you experienced in the chat. Matthew says instant relief. Sheila says thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. Jorgen says resolve. Isabel says flipping back between states. Lock in your posture a little bit more, Isabel. Eva says scary, but it was useful. I will try it in the situation. Okay. In my body. Very good. Okay. Let's look at her. What a difference, Eliz is saying. Julie Crawford is saying yes, yes. Okay. Now, so that's the piece that was missing. We need to understand the mind-body feedback loop and why, even though on a theoretical level, the mind does control and influence the body, 100%. On a functional level, the inverse is true. Your physiology will have far more impact on your mental state and what you can think about and how you can think than any other variable. So we must get that right. If we get the body right, everything else can be wrong, and we can still pull this stuff off. Now, obviously, we're going to do other things, but that's your foundation. That's your platform. How many of you, when I had you in the negative physiology and I said, as an act of will, try to feel good? What happened? Could you do it? Isabel says, it didn't happen. Did you feel your body trying to shift? Yeah, when you're down here trying to, and you're in this negative physiology, and you try to will yourself to go the other way, your body wants to follow it. But I made you intentionally hold it while trying to feel good, right? And that's the dichotomy between willpower and physiology. They're so intimately intertwined. You can't really distinguish one from the other, except you can. Okay? Remember that your unconscious mind is the home, or your autonomic nervous system is the home of your unconscious mind. It's the part that controls everything about you, from the amount of electrical activity in your neurology to the hormonal balances that you experience. It colors your perceptions. So this is where change and transformation needs to start, by understanding that your body is this massive, amazing information processing system. And it's got all kinds of files in here in various places. We just need to log in and access them, right? So if you're going to do any transformation work in the future, this is the drill that you do. You decide what state you want to have. You remember a time when you had it, and you relive the experience, and you re-access the physiology and the posture of what that state was like. You re-access the breathing of what that was like, and then you focus in on the visual, the auditory, the kinesthetic, the olfactory and gustatory experiences. Notice where you feel it, turn it into a color, breathe it through your body. You're going to lock in that state. If you're experiencing a negative state, the first thing you do is you change your posture, and then you change your breathing, and you hold the posture. The science says hold it for 2 minutes. My experience says you don't need to hold it that long, but 2 minutes is a good window, okay? So when someone's triggering you in some way, and we all get triggered for different reasons by different people under different circumstances, the first thing you want to do, the protocol that you want to follow, is you want to get physical distance from the trigger. Even if it's only half a step, you want to get physical distance, okay? Then you want to get emotional distance. How do we get emotional distance? We change our posture. We change our breathing to what we want to feel instead. Okay? And we just hold it. And your neurology will do the rest in many cases. And then once you're calmed down, or you can access your mind again, now you can do all the other techniques that we've honed so well. But everything we do in Planet David is about mind-body integration. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do now. With your permission, I'd like to talk to you about where this philosophy, the system that this particular set of drills and processes are derived from. I'd like to teach you and show you how to get access to the complete system and where to go for next steps. When I finish doing that, with your permission, I would like to guide you through the process of how to become more playful, more curious, and we already did victory and triumph. So, and if you want to add relentlessness on there, we'll do that. Does that sound like a plan? Do you like that idea? Okay. Very cool. Has this been helpful? Is this useful for you guys? Right? Otherwise, I'm going to the movies. All right. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you coming out and spending your afternoon or wherever it is with me. All right. So without any further ado, let me talk to you about the Master Your Mind home study courses that we put together for you. Let me just grab this really quick. All right. So I want to talk to you about this particular set of programs I put together. And I put it together primarily as a way to help you keep the momentum going from the webinar, but also so you can do this all on your own by yourself. Now, I'm also going to show you a way to get my help with this stuff. It's going to teach you how to unlock the power of your mind, reprogram yourself for personal transformation, healing, influence, and success. Okay. So first and foremost, let me make this a little bigger so I can see it. Right? We're going to teach you how to manifest wealth and abundance. In other words, how to align your mind with prosperity consciousness. Like I said, you have two sets of beliefs. Beliefs you know about, beliefs you don't. This system is going to show you how to unlock those and transform them so everything about you is going in the same direction. Everything about you is on the same page. Right? I talked about values you know about, values you don't. Right? It's really important to find out what values are actually in the way of you becoming the person who can have the life you want. When we did the life values inventory last 2 Saturdays ago, people were blown away. They didn't realize how just the rules they were living their life by is actually holding them back. It got smaller, I should have turned my phone ringer off. Can you guys see it better now? Isabel, better? Okay. Yeah. All right. So anyway, one of the things you'll learn about once you understand how to master this within yourself is how to actually use it to influence everyone around you to do what you want for their own selfish reasons. In fact, one of the almost unfair things about understanding how the mind works is that you can translate those understandings into your everyday communications with people and get them excited and motivated and inspired and actually help them become unblocked as well because you know how to talk to people in a way that stimulates their subconscious mind to look for the ways to do something, right? Human beings are driven to have their emotional needs met and satisfied. And once you understand how to talk to people in the language of values and emotions, then you'll have a captive audience pretty much everywhere you go. This will let you transform relationships, build deep emotional connections, improve communication, and attract the right people into your life. I'm going to elaborate on that just a little bit. Not just attract the right people, but teach you what people need to not be part of your life, right? This is, again, remember that the people in your life are identity anchors. If you want a new identity, you must design it, you must program it, and you must rehearse it, and then you must support it by surrounding yourself with the things that make that new identity the normal state. Okay? You're going to become unstoppably confident and charismatic. Not because I say so, but because you'll understand that most people's search for confidence is really a search to stop being afraid and to just feel comfortable in their own skin in most situations and circumstances. And what you'll find is that the people who are most confident, who are most charismatic, they're the ones who are radiating the most sense of comfort and quiet authority or dynamism in a particular environment. You'll learn how to have that on tap in steroids. It's part of what you're going to be learning part of that today, as a matter of fact. You already have learned part of it. And finally, you're going to break free of fear and procrastination and self-sabotage and limiting beliefs. You're going to be able to program your goals faster and easier than ever before. Maybe even most importantly, you're going to learn finally how to trust the most powerful part of you, your other than conscious mind. Okay? And you're going to be able to do it fast. We're going to teach you how to create lasting, powerful subconscious change that generalizes through every aspect of your life. That's part of it. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you is this particular offer expires March 3rd, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. And we're going to start with the Mind Control Mastery Training Home Study course. This is a 14 video series that focuses on 7 discrete stages of identity design. We're going to teach you how to clear the unconscious negativity from your mind and your emotions, stuff you didn't even know you had. Right? We're going to teach you how to remove the secret rules that are keeping certain problems in place. Believe it or not, if your unconscious mind views getting rid of a problem as putting you in danger, it will not let you let go of the problem. We're going to show you step by step how to find those problem areas, dissolve those safety rules, so your system will actually let it go and you can move forward with your life. We're going to teach you how to remove the negative voices in your head that hold you back. Now, let me tell you something about this really, really quickly. At the beginning of the training today, I started to talk about the voice in your head. When it comes to state control, your body does not make a distinction between talking angrily or negatively to other people than it does to itself. In other words, when you talk in a harsh or demeaning way about somebody or to somebody, your brain, your body doesn't realize you're not talking to it. Your whole neurology is tone driven. So much so that if you just change the tonality of the voice you currently have in your head, it loses its power over you. But what if we could go even further? What if we could go to the very roots of that original negative voice in your head, pull it out, and rebuild it into something powerful? That was the voice of the most trusted, loving, inspiring mentor you could ever have. A voice that speaks to you in the tonality that makes you feel heard and understood and accepted and loved. That's part 3 of the identity by design process, right? What if you could install the 4 pillars of personal power for success? What are those 4 pillars? curiosity, playfulness, relentlessness, and victory. If you can move through the world embodying one or more of those states, your entire perception of the world around you shifts and changes. Because the perception of the world around you shifts and changes, your emotions shift and change, your behaviors shift and change, and you start seeing opportunities and taking actions that a different state would have kept you from ever even perceiving, much less taking advantage of. That's why state control has to be the single most important piece in any form of manifestation, any form of influence, any form of success training, any form of healing. It's the states you spend the most time in that have the greatest impact on everything else. And once you understand how to engineer those states, you'll be able to write your own ticket. We're going to teach you how to sanitize the negativity from past memories and traumas. Literally drain the energy out of those memories, move them into your positive memories, and then destroy and crush those negative memories so that when you look back on the past, you only remember it in ways that make your life better. Finally, we're going to take all of those processes we talked about, clearing the unconsciously held negative emotions, removing the process of getting rid of safety rules, transforming that negative voice in your head, installing those 4 pillars of success, sanitizing all the negativity. We're going to teach that and install it using epigenetics as a template at the DNA level of your body. At the part of you that controls your gene expression, you're going to have these programs hardwired in using hypnosis and related disciplines. And then we're going to teach you finally how to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people you truly admire, people whose skills and attributes you most want to have more of for yourself. We're going to teach you how to install that into your own personal blueprint for success. We're going to include a full manual with that has some of the most powerful change techniques and principles for personal transformation anybody's ever talked about in a simple, easy to understand format. Total value on that is $2,497, right? But as you can probably guess, because this is a webinar and because we want you to really, really get the most bang for your buck, we're going to include absolutely free the following special bonuses, right? So first of all, the Mind Control Mastery Program is going to teach you how to find and remove blocks to health, wealth, and happiness you didn't know you have, how to become magnetized for money, how to influence people more easily and effortlessly, find and remove hidden negativity, clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, program your mind to attract the things you want and move away from the things you don't, to change what you believe you deserve. Yes, that is a big deal. Many times we're going after things, but somewhere in the back of our mind, there's a little program running that says, we don't really deserve that. I'm going to teach you how to deserve something. Delete the negative energy and memories from your past. Install the traits, qualities, and characteristics you want more of, and give you access to the most powerful tools for personal transformation and manifestation I've ever discovered. And I will put these techniques up against any other techniques out there on the market. Okay. Total value on this particular program is $1,497. It's called the Hidden Laws of Attraction. And once again, it's going to teach you how to manifest things now. It's about taking the same 7-stage process that you've learned and applying it to becoming magnetic for the things that you want, right? We're going to teach you about the powerful new Yin-formation mental programming method that allows you to speak to your brain using regular language that forces your brain to come up with reasons why you can do something and give you access to the natural resources that allow you to do it. What's very powerful and important to understand is whatever your neurology creates, your neurology accepts. Whatever your neurology accepts, your neurology can change, and the human nervous system never accepts it or never resists itself. So if you can talk to your brain in such a way that it creates the reality inside itself automatically, then it will give you the right tools and the right energies and the right perceptions to move forward. It's a very simple structural change in how you talk to yourself that creates big, big changes in terms of the amount of energy you have for creating the things you want. We're going to teach you how to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of naturally lucky people. Naturally lucky people have at least 5 specific psycho-emotional traits that cause them to be luckier than the average human being. And once you understand what those are, you can use the identity by design process to install those and amplify them within yourself. And then finally, what's cool about this is we're going to teach you the most powerful engine of personal transformation and manifestation I've ever discovered. That is image cycling technology. I thank Dr. Bill Bankston for teaching me that particular method. When he taught it to me, he wasn't teaching it to me in the context of what I use it for, but this is what really cooks the rice. So, Hidden Laws of Attraction, Vibrational Influence, and Manifestation Made Easy. It's a $1,497 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free. So the total combined value on everything so far is $3,994. We're also going to include our actual real world hypnotherapy identity by design home study course. Now, you remember that earlier in the webinar, I said that if you learn nothing else for change work or for personal transformation, learn hypnosis. Learn how to use the power of hypnosis to reprogram your subconscious mind. There is no aspect of your life where hypnosis can't help you. I truly, truly believe that, right? It has touched every part of my life. And if the only thing I could do with hypnosis was just fix traumas, I'd have been out of it before I ever got into it. I got into hypnosis so that I could learn to get better at everything. And it's been again, I said it was my gateway drug. I'm not kidding. If you learn nothing else, guys, learn hypnosis. You can learn it from me using our proven program that's helped thousands of people, or you can go somewhere else. It's up to you, right? But learn it and use it, okay? The Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study course is a professional level training. It's designed for people who want to go out and create change at a professional level of skill. It's going to teach you how to hypnotize people with complete confidence and certainty anytime, anywhere, under any situation, any circumstance, for any reason, and get the change you're going for no matter what. And that is something I'm very proud to say that the Identity by Design system and all of its practitioners up to this point that I know of have been able to do on a consistent basis, right? I could tell you story after story after story, but you'll simply learn how to hypnotize anyone, anytime, anywhere, remove blocks and limiting beliefs, find and remove hidden negativity, clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, change the crappy voice inside your client's head, resolve negativity from their past, transform pain, physical or emotional pain, do regression with people, install traits, qualities, and characteristics of the people that your clients want most to be like. If you really want to help people, if you want to take things, once you've learned to make yourself strong and healthy and happy, and you want to expand that, and you want to make more of a difference in the world, this is the program that lets you do that. This is the program that lets you scale your skills and really become a force for change in the world. Now, not everybody wants to do that, and that's okay. But if you're someone who has a deep desire to help, a deep desire to earn a living, and as one of my mentors used to say, do well by doing good. This is probably one of the most powerful revenue generating processes you can learn for yourself. It's a $1,497 value. We're going to give this to you free because we want you to be prepared. We want you to be ready. It's a $5,491 value. We're also going to include one of the most powerful hypnotic influence programs we've ever created. And this is, again, the real world conversational hypnosis, also known as stealth CPI. In this program, you're going to learn the 7-stage universal persuasion protocol that is designed to allow you to influence people anytime, anywhere, under any situation or circumstance. How to emotionally bond and connect with anyone at will. Control emotions and use them to control your emotions and use them to influence other people. If you want to learn how to emotionally bond and connect with another person, to radiate charisma and confidence, or any other emotion that you want, this is the training that will do it for you. I want to teach you the 7 most powerful hypnotic language patterns that exist. Patterns that allow you to focus a person's attention and awareness anywhere you want and ignore everything else. Patterns that allow you to make anything you want seem to cause anything you want in the minds of your listener. Patterns that let you make anything you want mean anything you want in the minds of your listener. Things that will create powerful, vivid, compelling, motivating and movies in a person's mind that are exactly what you described with zero chance of resistance. Okay? That's just the beginning of what some of these patterns will do for you. And the best part is, just using them turns you into a walking hypnotic induction. You will have people hanging on your every word, not because you're some guru or whatever, but because what you say makes them feel so good, is so captivating, is so inspiring and motivational. People will just want to spend more time with you just so you can talk to them. right? When you apply this with any form of professional influence, sales, marketing, therapy, negotiation, mediation, arbitration, it becomes super, super powerful. And it works in writing, it works over video, it works on stage, it works through texts, it works in letters and emails. Any place language is involved, this system will help you express yourself in a highly charismatic and trust building way. And that's what we need now more than anything else. We need the language of trust. We need to be authentic and communicate with people in a non-manipulative, non-ethical, but influential way. And this is the system that does that hands down. Okay. And people will simply automatically, in many cases, like, love, and trust you on command, right? If you want to be magnetically charismatic, and if you want to be a strong leader, someone who can inspire and motivate people, whether it's your children, your team at work, your boss, this is the course that'll do that. Now, one of the things that, whether you're reprogramming your subconscious mind or the subconscious minds of other people, one of the things you're going to need skills with, and by the way, this is a $1,950 value. We're going to include this absolutely free as part of your package, right? We're also going to include one of the most powerful belief change systems on the planet. We call this renegade reframing because it's kind of a radical way to understand how people create beliefs, how to unpack them and change them. Once you understand these 14 simple methods, you'll be able to overcome any objection anytime. You'll be able to win any argument you want. If somebody is attacking you, gaslighting you, future promising you, or trying to browbeat you into submission in any way, shape, or form, you can use these patterns to protect yourself. If somebody's trying to install negative or limiting beliefs in you, you can use these patterns to dissolve those beliefs before they have a chance to take root in your mind. You can use these exact patterns to turn the tables on would-be manipulators and predators so that you can have control of your own mind and body and really move forward with your life. If there was anything that I would recommend for people who really want to be able to rapidly change beliefs and overcome any objection in minutes in normal conversations, this is the program you want. It's a $1,950 value. Once again, we're including it free because we want you to have all the tools. If you were to look at the big picture of the package that we're sharing with you, right? Half the program is about you and your inner game and your internal skill sets and reprogramming your subconscious mind. The other half is about how you communicate those changes to the outside world and how you leverage them to make even more changes and manifest the life you want. There's put a lot of thought into this program for you guys. So I just want you to see the big picture. So just to review, the Master Your Mind package is the 14 video, 7 Secrets of Personality Transformation Identity by Design process. You're going to get the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind Magic and Manifestation Masterclass. You're going to get the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Certification Home Study Course. You're going to get Stealth CPI Level 1. And you're going to get Renegade Reframing, how to overcome any objection and change any belief instantly. Total package value on this is $9,391. Now, clearly, there's a lot of value here. And I know one person came to halfway through one CPI class, went to a meeting the next day, and closed a deal for $10,000. Like in less than a half a day of training, she made back the cost of the entire package. But we want you to have the best deal humanly possible, right? So obviously, we're not going to charge you or make you pay $93.91. We're not even going to do $53.47. Would it be a deal at $33.47? I think that's not bad, right? Right? But we're not going to do that. How about $14.97? Is that a good deal? Get all that for $1,497? Yeah, it's a good deal, right, Isabel? Guess what? I'm not going to make you pay that either. If you click the link that shows up in the next few moments, you can get everything for one low installment of just $9.97. And if you need a little help, reach out to Moss, Mia, or Brandon, and you can break that up into 3 easy installments of just $3.97 each. Okay? And you'll get instant access to the training. So all you got to do to get yours is go to nlppower.com/mind. That's nlppower.com/mind. Just click your links. They should be appearing in your chat at any moment. If not, oh, there it goes. Brandon's there. And our Zoomers should be getting one. Let me put one in the Zoomers just to make sure they have it. Yes, you can see I'm very much a do-it-yourself, hands-on kind of guy. There we go. Brandon got it. Okay. Brandon's our man with the plan today. All right. So if you're ready to level up, go ahead and click your links. And understand that if for whatever reason it's not working for you, you got 60 days. Test it out. Use it. Call us. Bug us. If you're having questions or you're having sticking points, call us and bug us. If after 60 days you're not on the fast track to reprogramming your subconscious mind, manifesting more money, finding the love you want, attracting more success, feeling more worthy and desirable, manifesting the life of your dreams, if you're not feeling more secure and confident and powerful, bottom line, if you're not getting more wins and enjoying more of what you truly want and deserve in life, we'll give you all your money back. You have absolutely nothing to risk. We believe so much in this program. We probably believe in you more than you do. Why? Because you're a human being with a pulse and you're a good person. And I know from working with thousands of people just like you, if you apply these skills to your life will change. And if not, it's not working for you, then I'll give you your money back. Okay? Just click your links and go to nlppower.com/MIND. So Sheila says, I'm certified with hypnosis, not by you. Your courses are definitely needed. You have really put together the best techniques. I've had many teachers. For me, hands down, you're the only person that I've found that gives the knowledge, information, and techniques that make rapid changes. I'm grateful. Thank you, Sheila. That's very, very sweet of you. Can I quote you? That's so nice. But Sheila, I think you did certify with me, didn't you? Didn't you take Identity by Design way back when? Or did you take something else? Anyway, so all this is available until March 3rd, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. And if you click your link before I log off the webinar, remember, the people who take action in life are the ones who get the gold. And I always try to reward the fast action takers in the world. This is something I learned from my mentor, Lisa Sasevich. It helps me to find the best students who are most ready and willing to make changes. So I reward fast action. So if you click that link before I log off tonight, Namisha's asking, question, does the package include Identity by Design in-person course? Well, why, yes, it does. If you click the link before I log off the webinar, you're going to get the following fast action bonuses. First one you're going to get is 3-month trial membership to the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. This is a program that I started in October of 2010, and it's been running literally nonstop every month, month after month, for 10 straight years. Actually, it's 26 now. It's actually 16 years now. I got to update that. We videotaped and archived every single training session, and as a member of the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program in good standing, you get full access to the 15-year video archive. Stuff that's never been shown on YouTube, stuff that's never been featured in a product, and it covers the scope of everything from attraction to manifestation to trauma resolution, body language, accelerated learning, memory enhancement, energy work, NLP, hypnosis, language patterns, hypnotherapy, hypnosis, anything that's in, if you've been to my YouTube channel, you kind of poked around, there's a very broad spectrum of materials there, right? And so you get access to all this stuff. Only the mastermind members get this. Plus, on the third Saturday of every month, you'll be invited to a special mastermind mentoring practice group where from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., we ask you exactly what it is you want to learn. We put a curriculum together, and as a group, we drill the skills you as a group want to learn about for the full 5 to 6 hours until you can do them in your sleep. You guys kept hearing me talking about the life values inventory that I ran 2 weekends ago. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. For those of you who click this link right now, I will literally go in and I will edit out that first half of the training, and I will give it to you as a separate extra bonus to your package, right? It was such a profound and powerful afternoon for everybody that they were just blown away by how much clarity they got from it. And I think it'll really help you guys too, because one of the biggest impediments to transformation is knowing what it is you really want. Because a lot of you
are operating on the assumption of, I'll know it when I see it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is absolutely 100% not true. Chances are, if you can't externalize your own rules, you won't recognize them because you don't know what they are consciously. Okay? We want to make the rules that go in our unconscious mind conscious so we can observe them, analyze them, and then make intelligent modifications to them. If you don't understand your life value rules and criteria, then you're moving through the world with only half the picture. Okay, so I think this is really important for you guys, and I'm happy to include it. If those of you who want to grab your courses now, I'll go in, I'll physically edit it out, and I'll give it to you as a separate video in our Kajabi platform or whatever, because I really believe it was a profound training, and I don't teach it that often, right? So total combined value so far is $10,988. We're going to give you 3 months of the trial membership absolutely free. If after 90 days you love what you're learning and you want to stay, we'll show you how to extend your membership. If after 90 days you got what you needed, you're ready to take the world on, solo, then by all means, we'll bid you good luck, and we'll watch your success and wait for success reports and testimonials and things like that. But if you ever have questions, you can always reach out to us. We're happy to help you. We're also going to give you one of the most powerful fast start programs I ever created. This is actually one of our most popular programs. I created it many, many years ago, and it still stood the test of time. This is the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course. It's a $997 value, and it's designed specifically for people who are impatient like me. It's designed to teach you how to watch a video and be instantly out there hypnotizing people. In a couple of hours, you can be out there hypnotizing people using instant and rapid inductions, using the 7 most powerful language patterns that exist. There's videos in there on lie detection, as well as emotional bonding and anchoring. I think there's one on instant and rapid inductions. There's some extra bonus videos of me teaching the 7 language patterns in a private group session. And I believe some of these programs actually have our original Hidden Laws of Attraction videos connected to them. So there's a huge amount of information available in the Stealth program. We're going to give this to you absolutely free. It comes with workbooks, transcripts, downloadable MP3s, as well as videos. It's a really fun, really fast course, but it's designed specifically to get you out into the world, influencing people in the shortest amount of time possible. Okay? It's an $11,985 value. Let me see here. So Sheila says, I took so many that my life improved so much, helped me with my children, now grandchildren. I also had a hypnosis business thanks to your techniques. Awesome. I love hearing that. I love people out there taking these skills and going out and just making the money. Son is a lawyer because of me. Wow. Sheila. Wow. Thank you so much for that. I did not know that. Okay, that's very cool. All right. So for those who are asking about the live event, yes. If you're one of the next 21 people to click this link, we have a super special bonus for you. This is a VIP super ticket to our next Real World Hypnotherapy Identity by Design 5-day hypnotherapy certification boot camp. Now, this is a hybrid class. Now, we encourage you to be there in person, but if you can only attend via Zoom, you can use your ticket and attend the entire 5-day training through Zoom. It's a step-by-step guided process through the 7 stages of the Identity by Design Silo. How to, let me start at the beginning. It's a complete professional level certification. You will have the skills to help people with a lot of stuff from this 5-day training. It's going to give you the ability to hypnotize anyone, anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance, for any reason, and get the change they came to you for, no matter what. It's going to help you eliminate self-sabotage, heal physical and emotional pains, remove blocks and limiting beliefs, find and remove hidden negativity, clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, change the crappy voice inside of your head and then ultimately in your clients so that they move through the world being inspired and motivated, guided and protected and nurtured like we all should have been, instead of inheriting that crappy voice inside of our head, right? I'm going to teach you how to do that, and so you can do that with clients and help people and really make a difference in the world, right? And finally, you're going to be able to get in touch with your true self, but also to custom design your own identity. right? This is all about taking your skills and embodying them in a way that no video can ever fully do. Anybody, if there's anybody in the chats who's ever been to the live training, will the 5-day training be recorded if we picked up the package and can't? Matthew, all of our trainings are recorded. All of our trainings are recorded. Neva's asking, wait, the in-person day? Yes, Neva, it's included. That's what this is. This is a $2,497 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free if you're one of the next 21 people to click that link and reserve your spot. Now, if something comes up that you can't make this training, that's okay. As long as you're in our database, we will put you on the guest list for the next training, or if there's a different training you'd like to take, we'll let you do that as well. Now, what's really cool about this package, and it's not stated anywhere on the slide, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. Let's say, like Namisha was asking about the live event, because Namisha's bought webinar programs from us in the past. Let's say you see a package that I'm offering here right now, and you have some of the programs that we're offering. That's okay. All you have to do is pick up the phone or send an email to Moss or Mia or even Brandon at NLP Power. Let us know that you'd like to substitute one of the programs, and we will, as long as the price points match up, prices of equal or lesser value, we will let you swap out any of these programs for any other program in our catalog, and you can have a customized package. We don't want you paying more money for stuff you already have. We want you to have stuff that moves your life forward, but you got to let us know how to help you. Okay, so please, please, please call us 858-282-4663. That's our customer service number. Or you can email Moss at nlppower.com. You can email Mia, she's our other administrative goddess, at nlppower.com. Brandon's usually doing the tech stuff, so he's not always doing the email marketing, but he is today. So if you have questions, Brandon can help you with those as well. Okay. So that's what I got for you guys. It's a $2,497 value. It's yours absolutely free. If you took everything that I've just talked about and you just added it up, it's $14,482. You get it all for just one low installment of $997, right? Or you can break that up into 3 installments of $397 each, right? Secrets of Personality Transformation. This is what we got for you. Secrets of Personality Transformation is the 14 video crash course in the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study course, Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind Control Manifestation, Stealth CPI, Renegade Reframing, NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, the Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, and the Real World Hypnosis Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Certification. And we're down to 15 people from that. Okay. So again, you can get the entire package for just $997. Just go ahead and click your links. Go to nlppower.com/mind. Sheila, what month is the class? May it be given as? Yes, Sheila. If you can gift this to anybody. This is considered a VIP ticket. So if you want to use it, you can. If you want to gift it to somebody like a family member or a significant other, just pick up the phone after you click the links and you lock it in. Go ahead and pick up the phone. Let us know and give us their name, and then they can call us and verify that they want it, and then we'll put them on the guest list. Okay? Cool. All right. All right, I'm going to give you guys, Sheila says, what month? The class is March 27th. No, 24th to the 28th, I think is what we've got. It's actually this month. It's kind of short notice if you're going to travel, but it's probably doable if you are doing Zoom. So if you want to travel, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be in the flesh. I'm going to lock you in the room with me for 5 straight days, and I'm going to put you through the most powerful systems of transformation and personal rebuilding that you can imagine. And I'm going to have fun doing it, and so are you. It's going to be the best times you ever spent. You will not be the same person when you come out. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes. If you guys got any questions, when would now be a good time to ask them? What questions do you have, if any? Our YouTubers, are you guys got your links? Any questions from our YouTubers? Neva said that would be so awesome. Oh, you got to comment. Neva, you must. We need you. I'm teasing. You do what's right for you, right? Matthew says, do you self-hypnotize using, oh yes, God, yes. I use them every single day and a bunch of others. Like I said, as powerful as identity by design is, and it really is, there's nothing like it out there. It's still just the tip of a very large iceberg. Once you go through these processes, the world is going to open up for you in ways that I can't even begin to describe without sounding like I'm either full of shit or like science fiction. But there are people in the chat who've experienced some amazingly crazy transformations and other phenomena that we teach you how to do using the power of your nervous system. Neva says facts. Just the spinning itself seems like science fiction, right? Just that spinning technique we've all learned and I put out there for free, right? That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many things. I had people, again, these are my most advanced students, so don't get me wrong. I had people with blindfolds on naming colors that they just picked up. Neva says, I healed my ankle with spinning. Boom, excellent. Neva, I want a testimonial. Give me a field report. I would love for all of you to write me and give me reports of how you've used this material so I can tell other people. See, when I talk to people, they expect me to say that this stuff is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But when you guys write in and you tell and you share your stories and you share your experiences, that's what other people need to hear. That's what they need to see, right? And the more you connect with me and the more you communicate, the more we can help other people, right? I'm all about helping other people, one person at a time, starting with you. Okay. So what other questions, if any, do you have? Anybody else? Okay. Robert, do you advocate using texturing states with other states as a method of state management? So, Robert, let me ask you a question. What do you mean exactly by texturing states with other states? Can you elaborate on what that means? Matthew says, I was so preoccupied with ordering, I missed the NLP Power Mastermind mentoring discussion. Would you mind summarizing that again? Sure. So the way the mastermind works, first of all, we've been running it every year since 2010, October 2010. We videotaped every single training. So you have full access to that whole video archive. It's hundreds and thousands of hours of video, right? But the actual mastermind program meets on the third Saturday of every month from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. On the rare occasions where the mastermind itself conflicts with my training schedule, we move the mastermind to the next month. But rather than doing a single mastermind session, we actually do a double long mastermind session. So you're still getting the same amount of training time. It's just in one bigger lump. So basically the way it works is you come into the session either physically or you come in through Zoom. Most are doing Zoom now. And I literally go around the room and I say, Matthew, what do you want to learn today? Neva, what do you want to learn today? Sheila, what do you want to learn today? Robert, what do you want to learn today? Kind of everything. What do you want to learn? Namisha, what do you want to learn? Stuart, what do you want to learn? Elise, what do you want to learn? Julie, what do you want to learn? And I listen to what you tell me and I write all those down on my board. And then I step back and I look at what you guys have told me. And based on what I see, the patterns, the crossover, how they all relate to each other, I create a lesson plan for you guys right on the spot. And then from the time we finish that writing up process, we do drills on each and every one of those areas until you can do the techniques you came to learn, or you've got the problem, the solution to the problem you need, and you can do it in your sleep. And then so for 4 or 5 hours, we drill, and then we send you off into the world to apply those skills in your life the way you came to learn them. And then you come back next month, and I'm going to ask you the same thing. What do you want to learn now? What do you want to learn now? What do you want to learn now? And I'm going to create a lesson plan, and we're going to drill those skills. You will not get a certificate from the Mastermind mentoring program. What you get is something far more valuable and far more precious. The ability and the confidence to use these skills in the real world, in real time, with real people, and be successful, right? And that is the one thing that separates all of our practitioners from most of the people out there who are just collecting certificates, right? We want you to be doers. We want you to be operators, right? We want you to be agents of change, and we want you to move your life forward. And the only way that you can do that is to go from borrowed knowledge to owned knowledge, which means going from access to the information to embodiment of the information. And that's what the Mastermind is about. It's about leveling up your skills so that they're always there for you and they always support you whenever you decide to use them. I'm very proud of that program. It was started based on members' requests, and I kind of hemmed and hawed, and I said, okay, well, this is how it's going to work. And if you guys don't show up or miss a meeting, I'm ending it. Next thing I know, 10 years, 12, 16 years later, we're still doing it. Deborah, I did. We're not at the end of seminar yet. Right? This is just, again, this is our Q&A session, but now we're going to go into training. In case Deborah thought I forgot, right? All right, so here's what we're going to do. Before I move on, do you guys have any other questions that I can answer for you? Okay, so which one do you want to do first? You want to be playful? You want to be curious? Relentless? What do you want? Relentless. Okay. Playful? Curious? Well, we've got one of each. All of them. All right. So let me elaborate a little bit on why I chose these states. You see, when I was designing the Identity by Design silo, and it's important to remember the history of the Identity by Design silo. It was never originally intended as a therapy system. It was originally designed as a performance enhancement silo. It was designed to take people who were afraid, uncertain, anxious, lacked confidence, poor social skills. It was designed to help them rebuild their identity so they could move through the world being more attractive, charismatic, assertive, and authoritative in their lives. But when we deployed it on people for real, the level of transformation and change that everybody who went through it experienced was just off the charts. Like it was revolutionary, really. And I looked at what we were doing with that, what we could do with that thing, and I said, we got to take this into the clinic, and we did, right? But when I was looking at the state control process, which the process that we teach in Identity by Design, which you'll learn at the training, is called Pillars of Power. Now, Pillars of Power is a very comprehensive process that involves evoking a state, amplifying a state, transforming a state into a metaphor, and doing all kinds of crazy things. Now, you'll learn all the steps to do that at Identity by Design. You'll learn it in the videos. We're not going to teach you how to do the process now. We're going to guide you through the process so you can experience the change and transformation. But one of the reasons that I chose the states that I did was because when I was looking at what actually gets people to take action, what are the states that cause people to move forward? One of the problems that we have with the animal part of us, the autonomic nervous system, is emotional complacency. When we're in a comfort zone, when we feel good, when everything's going just right, we want to stay in that space. And so there's an old saying, comfort zones are wonderful things, but nothing ever grows there, right? And that's the problem, is most of the time when we hit a comfort zone, we're not motivated to change it. We're not motivated to go further, faster, farther until we experience a negative state. But I didn't want to build a whole system around negativity. Now, don't get me wrong. From a behavioral perspective, from an influence perspective, negativity is tremendously powerful. If you were to actually put them on put 1 unit of negativity on a scale versus 1 unit of positivity, your nervous system gives 4 times more power to one negative experience than it does to a positive experience. Right? So there's a lot of power in negativity, but nobody wants to go there. Nobody wants to talk about it. Can pillars of power be done with the client sitting? Yes, it can. In fact, I did pillars of power through Zoom at one of the virtual healing retreats not too long ago. But it's important to have a good understanding of how the system, how to describe it in a way that the person can fully involved in it. Okay. So Deborah, have you taken my trainings before? Your name looks familiar. Oh, okay. All right. So how do we do this? Well, we're going to do a scaled down version of Pillars of Power. So the way it starts, been following me for a long time? Well, welcome. Okay. So why did I pick the states that I did? Because they're positive, but they make us want to go after something. When you feel victorious, right? You feel motivated to keep going. You want to keep that momentum going. When you're playful, you don't experience resistance to something, right? When you're curious, like fear goes out the window. And that's why I chose these states. Now, the only one that is a little bit different than the rest is relentlessness. And one of the things I learned many years ago from observing human beings is you don't got to be smart to be successful. You don't even have to be talented. You don't have to be lucky. What you do need is relentlessness. I knew people who made every conceivable business mistake you can think of, who had businesses that hemorrhaged money, that had lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, and for whatever reason, they simply would not quit. And they always found their way back to the top of the pile. And I realized so many years ago that it's not about how smart you are. It's not about how lucky you might be, even though I spend a lot of time teaching people how to be more lucky. It's the backbone, the relentlessness that you create. That is the thing that keeps you going, that keeps you from crumbling when everything you work for is falling down around your ears, or your business is going backward when it should be going forward. It's that relentless determination to get up and keep going. It's the Rockies of the world, right? That's what Rocky embodied. He embodied a dream, and he embodied relentless pursuit of the thing that inspired him and who he was. And so when I was building these pillars of power processes together, I realized that you can be curious all day long, but if your state crumbles and you lose that, then you're starting all over again. So relentlessness is the backbone. Relentlessness is the backbone of success. But relentlessness by itself can make you too serious. It can make you too negative, and it can make you very angry and great aggressive, right? And so it needs to be buffered. It needs to be buffered. And that's why the other states are really important, is because once you have that core relentlessness, right? Now you wrap it in playfulness, and you wrap it in curiosity, and you wrap it in a sense of victory and triumph. And now you've got a state that's just unbreakable. You can't be infected by negativity. You find reasons to go forward no matter what. And if you get knocked down, you dust yourself off and you get back up again. So each of the states by themselves is powerful. But when you combine them, that's where the real magic happens. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and do relentlessness first, real quick. Okay? And you're going to see that in this is a scaled down process, right? Because again, it's getting close to 2 hours that we've been on, and I know some of you need to get back to work or you have other things to do. In the interim, if you want more of this kind of training and you want more one-on-one and hands-on with me, go ahead and click your links and reserve your spots, and we'll take you through the entire system. Okay? So I want you to stand up. Now, if you're driving, don't do this. Okay? If you're driving, don't do this. I want you to close your eyes. And remember a time in your life when you saw something that you really, really wanted. Like I said before, on a scale of 0 to 10, it was like a lust factor of 27. And you decided that you were going to get it no matter what. And you made a plan and you put that plan into motion. And as you were going through it, parts of it were easy. And then every now and then life would throw you a curveball, or there was some kind of obstacle that needed to be overcome. But the more obstacles the universe threw in your way, the more determined you became. Maybe it was a homework assignment when you were in school. Maybe it's a business you were building. Maybe it was a relationship. Whatever it was, you were determined to make it happen. You were determined to make it work, and you did. And I want you to remember that feeling of, I'm going to do this. That feeling of, I will make this happen one way or another. Even if there's something I don't know, I will figure it out. Remember a time, big or small, young or old, when that was true for you. Now, if you've never had an experience like that, can you imagine what an experience like that might be like? What might you see when you're in that state? What might you hear? What might you smell? What might you taste? Because when you do that, when you're experiencing that relentless determination to succeed, to win, to overcome, to go forward no matter what, I'd like you to notice that there's a place in your body where those feelings are stored, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, notice where you feel that, and point to it. Close your eyes, point to it, look at it. Notice there's a color or a series of colors connected to those feelings. What color or colors might that be for you, first impression? Whatever it is, I want you to reach in and grab that color, take it out and hold it in your hands in front of you. Make sure you get it all, because sometimes it hides. And as you look at it, did the color change or stay the same, first impression? Now, notice it's moving. It's spinning in a certain direction. What direction is it spinning? As you notice what directions it's spinning, I want you to physically grab it with both of your hands. Find the direction that makes it even stronger. And when you find the direction that makes it even stronger, I want you to spin it like a wheel and double the spin, double the speed, double the force, double the magnitude. Keep doubling it over and over and over again until it takes on a life of its own, until it's impossible for it to go back the way it was. When you know you've got it, slam it back into that spot. This new program works its way deeper and deeper and deeper into your body, into your mind, into your spirit. Any program, any belief, any memory, any experience that's not in harmony with this new set of instructions, your neurology is going to begin to shed. It's going to begin to purge like a snake shedding its skin, like old software being uninstalled by newer, better, more powerful software. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice that process taking place. Allow it to run its course to install itself completely. And when you know it's done, test it. Try to bring the old feelings back. Try to turn the new feelings off. And notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, it's locked in. Stop testing. And once again, reach in and grab that energy. Take it out and hold it in your hands in front of you. Make sure you get it all, because we don't want to miss a drop of this. Now what I want you to do is I want you to look at it and notice, did the color change or stay the same, first impression? Once again, notice it's moving, it's spinning in a certain direction. What direction is it spinning? Find the direction that makes it even stronger and spin it again and double the spin, double the speed, double the force, double the magnitude. Keep doubling it over and over and over again until it takes on a life of its own, until it's impossible for it to go back the way it was. When you know you've got it, cut it in half. Take half of it, put it off to the side, take the other half that you're holding, spin it faster. Faster, 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 faster. Faster, 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 faster. And when it's spinning faster than it could ever be, put it on the ground in front of you. As you put it on the ground in front of you, notice this gigantic pillar of energy coming up from the ground, radiating from that spinning ball of relentlessness. Smell it, breathe it in. Feel every part of your body vibrating and pulsing with the energy of that relentless determination to succeed. Feel your lungs breathing in. Feel your blood taking up that new program and saturating your mind and body with it. Feel the relentlessness taking place like a superpower inside of you, like solid steel skeletons. And when you're ready, step into that pillar and zoom, feel yourself growing, expanding to fill that pillar of relentlessness. Feel it vibrate all throughout your mind, all throughout your body, all throughout your spirit. Breathe the energy in and feel every part of you being programmed with that unstoppable energy of relentlessness. Take all the time you need to let the changes lock in, let the changes take place. When you know you've got it, it's locked in, test it. Try to go back to that old, wimpier version of yourself and notice what happens instead. When you know you got it, step out of it. As you step out of that pillar doubles in size and strength, doubles in force and magnitude, doubles in intensity, doubles in relentlessness. You can feel the energy rippling and waving off that form, vibrating your entire mind and body. Take a moment. Breathe in that relentless energy into your lungs and feel it spreading all throughout your mind, all throughout your body, all throughout your spirit, reprogramming, upgrading, leveling up everything about you. And when you're ready to own it, to embody it, to personify it fully and completely, whole and total, step into that pillar. Zoom, feel the energy double in size and strength, double in force and magnitude, and you grow to fill that pillar too. Feel the energy of relentlessness bolstering you, making you stronger, more powerful, more resilient, more tough, emotionally, physically, mentally, in every way. Nothing stops you. Nothing gets in your way. Nothing can hold you back. You are the embodiment of unstoppable resolution, determination, and relentlessness. Feel the truth of that as you breathe it in. And let it take root so strongly, so fully, no force in the universe can turn it off or take it away. Not even you. When you know it's true, test it. Try to go back to the old version of yourself and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, stop testing. Step out. Now, most of you are movie buffs. Most of you have seen movies like The Fantastic Four or The Incredibles. I want you to imagine now you could take your right hand, stretch it all the way to the very top of that pillar. Take your left hand, stick it underneath the base of that pillar, and I want you to compress and concentrate that pillar. Feel it condensing, compressing down. Reach out, grab the piece of energy you put off to your side, put it in there and spin it faster. Faster, 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 faster. Cut it in half again, put that off to the side. Take this, spin it faster, 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 faster. Put it in your body. Feel the rush, feel the release. Feel the energy unpacking and amplifying, upgrading your entire system. Take all the time you need to let that process take place, to test it fully and completely. When you know you've got it, allow your eyes to open. Reach out, grab that piece of energy you put off to the side that's so concentrated, so powerful. And now I want you to imagine it's malleable and shapeable like clay or molten metal. And I want you to shape it into something that you can wear, something that symbolizes relentlessness, determination, unstoppable resolve. I usually use rings. I like rings, so I make mine into a ring, like a Green Lantern ring or something like that. So anytime I want to, anytime I need to, I can just rub my magic ring and feel that relentless determination to succeed surge all throughout your mind, surge all throughout your body. On top of that, anytime I want to, anytime I need to, I can imagine my relentless color, create my pillar, step into it, and breathe it and embody it fully and completely, whole and total. Take all the time you need, step out, compress your pillar, bring it back into your body. Take a few moments to let all those changes settle in. Allow your eyes to open and type your experience in the chat. Eva says, good. Some of you might take longer to come back than others. Isabel says, tearing strong. Yes. Again, here's the thing you need to understand about our, Deborah says it felt very clear and positive. Excellent. Excellent. Well done. Right? Now, we did this through a Zoom connection. Right? What's it like in person? Water flowing from my eyes feels, yes, that's your liver purging, by the way. That's good. Okay. Now, this is the exact, Jorgen says, I took a trip without leaving the farm. Superb, excellent. I would use a slightly different version of this process, Linda, if they're sitting down. I wouldn't have them step into a pillar. I would have them take the energy, turn it into a frame, and pass it through their body. All the same idea. Spin it, take it out, turn it into a color, pass it through their body, breathe it in, right? You'll see me do that. You'll see me do that approach of transformation. We call it a resonant frequency generator. You'll see me use that on other videos. And you'll actually learn it in Identity by Design. We actually teach you much more in-depth versions of energy spinning, color breathing, and magic framing as part of your Identity by Design process. All right. So anyway, for those of you who are on the fence, we're getting close to that time where I have to bid you adieu. So if you've been on the fence, if you've liked any of the things we've shared with you, if you see how this can benefit your life, and it will, I highly encourage you to join us on March 24th through the 28th for our next Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Certification Hybrid Bootcamp. We also have the amazingly cool Mastering Your Mind Home Study Program with the Secrets of Personality Transformation Core Program training. You got the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study course. You've got the Hidden Laws of Attraction Manifestation Mastery Program, Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion Protocol, Renegade Reframing, Overcoming Objections and Conversational Belief Change, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course, and the Real World Hypnosis 5-day live certification bootcamp. There's only about 15 or 16 of those slots left. You can get it all. It's a $14,482 value. You can get it all for one low installment of just $997 or 3 easy installments of $397 each. Just click your links. Go to nlppower.com/MIND. nlppower.com/MIND. Anybody have any last questions before I turn you guys loose on the world? Now, the process we just did, you can use it for curiosity. You can use it for playfulness. You can use it for a sense of victory and triumph, although we did victory and triumph a little bit differently at the beginning of the webinar. Each of those processes is content free. In other words, I can take that exact same process and load any content I want into them and get a very powerful result. Remember, it's always about physiology first. If your physiology's messed up, if it's not in the right configuration, it's very hard to access the states you want to use as resources. Okay? So really, 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 physiology controls psychology. Okay? All right. Well, on that note, in the words of the immortal Carol Burnett, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just got started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. Good night, everybody. Please post your comments in the replay, like and share the video when it becomes available. Click your links and join us. Jorgen says, this was the most significant positive experience. Thank you, Jorgen. Thank you so much. That's why I do what I do. The money's nice. It's the transformations that make it worthwhile. I love you all. We'll see you guys next time. Same bad time,